I've, last Thursday, been sentenced to 18 months in prison, essentially for telling the truth. This is going to take me away from my kids, my husband, and my home. I don't want my kids to grow up in a world where they're afraid to say what's true because the government wants them to say something different. That isn't any way to live. I shouldn't be taken away. There's no way this is just.
Doreen Hendrickson, a mild-mannered, demure mother of two, who after being ordered to perjure herself or face contempt charges, was sentenced to 18 months in prison by a federal judge. Meet Pete Hendrickson. His wife is facing jail time because the feds wanted to discredit him and his life's work. Since he wrote the book, Cracking the Code, The Fascinating Truth About Taxation in America, in 2003, the feds have been after him ever since.
When I published Cracking the Code, initially hundreds of readers began acting on what they learned in the book, and then thousands of readers, and then tens of thousands of readers began acting on what they learned in the book. And what that information allowed them to do was reclaim everything that had been withheld from them or paid in by them in income taxes, including Social Security, Medicare, all of it. And they began getting their money back. Checks in the mailboxes all across America, week after week, month after month, year after year, for 12 years now, amounting to billions of dollars worth of recovered property that should never have left the pockets of the people who had earned it.
It's like tens of thousands of people, and they share their forms and they share their experiences, and they're getting everything back. This is like one giant success story.
It's actually very simple. The nature of what is commonly referred to as the income tax is far more limited than the federal government would have you believe.
It's an excise tax. It always has been from its initial enactment in 1862 until the present.
An excise tax is a tax imposed on the performance of an act, the engaging in an occupation, or the enjoyment of a privilege, whereas the income tax is simply a tax levied on incomes. The certain activities and privileges include gainfully holding or administering a government office. In short, government officials were meant to be taxed on their income. Private citizens were meant to be left alone.
I interviewed Pete Hendrickson on Art of Michigan one morning during our early morning radio talk show. And he was quite clear. The Constitution informs us of what rightful earnings are, and they are not what you and I are making. The idea of income taxation was designed to tax the government officials who are earning special income because of their relationship to the government, not your and my earnings as average private citizens. And now the government is trying to silence Pete Hendrickson by virtue of putting his wife in prison? It's unthinkable.
The details of the case will astonish you.
It adopted the unique, never before in American history solution to what it perceived as the problem of our returns by asking a court to order us to repudiate our sworn returns and replace them with new returns containing content dictated to us by the government, which we were to sign under penalty of perjury as being our own testimony. It's utterly offensive to the constitutional protections of speech and conscience and of due process, which provides that anyone in a legal contest with another party, even when that other party is the United States itself, is entitled to make their own claims, to argue their own facts, and is under no circumstances obliged to endorse the views of their opponent. Frankly, the government really wants to have some paper that can wave that suggests that Doreen, or Doreen as my wife, the wife of the author of this book, repudiates the information in it and has declared something about her own earnings that that is contradictory to what the book says and what she doesn't believe to be true, frankly.
In addition to the troubling circumstances of the case, the prosecuting attorneys and judge admitted that they were monitoring and watching folks who signed an online petition supporting Doreen.
A few days before the trial, many people received an email with information asking them if they would sign a petition in support of her. And I found it very disturbing that the attorney for the government said that they had already checked apparently over 1,600 signatures. It disturbs me because I think people have a right to their freedom of association, and I think the First Amendment guarantees that.
The fact that the exercise of free expression is dangerous to the state means that the state is in the wrong. That I think is about as straightforward a formula as one could imagine.
I sat in Victoria Roberts' courtroom and listened carefully to see if she was going to say that what Pete Hendrickson's book informs us of is wrong, and she never did. So Doreen isn't being charged with tax evasion. Doreen isn't being charged with withholding income that should be taxed. Doreen is being charged with contempt of court because she won't sign a document saying that what she believes to be true is not true.
She was not charged with filing false returns. She was not charged with tax evasion. She was not charged with failure to file returns. She was not charged with anything relating to the tax whatsoever.
Our legal system here in America is designed to protect everyone's right to make claims, rebut allegations, and defend herself against the claims of others. One of the key ways in which these paramount goals are accomplished is by providing that no one can be told what she must say in a legal contest. I get to say my piece, and the other side gets to say its piece. Each of us get to say, without hindrance, intimidation, or interference, whatever we think serves to support our claims. No one, not even the government, gets to preemptively evade the contest or control its outcome by taking, or being given, control of what its opponents say, even if it really thinks what is being said or might be said is wrong.
You know, her word and our word is very important to us. These are sworn affidavits. Income tax form is a sworn affidavit. Perjury is a crime. Perjury is a felony. So nobody really wants to be ordered to, a judge ordering a person to commit a felony crime. It means that any judge anywhere in the federal system now can order you or me to go, I don't know, commit murder. I mean, just do it because I'm a federal judge and damn it, you obey me.
A central tenet of our republic, a characteristic that separates us from totalitarian regimes, is that the government and private citizens resolve disputes on an equal playing field in the courts. When citizens face the government in the federal courts, the job of the judge is to apply the law, not to bolster the government's case.
This is just a part of an ongoing trend, I think, of the government overstepping its boundaries, neglecting what the Constitution and the Bill of Rights says.
I just don't see what detriment they are to the community. Maybe they have some different beliefs on how the IRS interprets tax laws. I don't care. That's not a danger. That's a danger to the IRS's ability to collect money and then, frivolously spend it what they want instead of giving it back to the citizens. I don't see any danger they pose to the community whatsoever. And it's really unfair that the courts target people like this.
Soon enough, you or your children will be in Doreen's shoes. Being told what you must say, being told that you can't defend your interests, being told that you're a second-class litigant in a legal contest with the state. There's the litany of hazards here, actually more than hazards, the litany of wounds to your well-being and heritage of freedom in this country is is long and deep.
And I think that it is our responsibility under God and our responsibility as citizens of this country to be vigilant, to make sure that our Constitution and our Bill of Rights is maintained.
After seeing the outpouring of support for her struggle for justice, Doreen mustered the courage to give her first live interview for this documentary.
I've been sentenced to 18 months in prison, essentially for telling the truth. This is going to take me away from my kids, and my husband, and my home. I was being ordered to lie. At least, if I'm going to swear to something to be true and correct to the best of my knowledge and belief, and I don't believe it's true, that would be a lie. The government is going to punish me for telling the truth. I don't want this kind of future for my kids. What I've been put through for the last 2 years, I don't want them to feel like they ever have to be afraid to speak the truth. That's not the future for my kids. They're 19 and 24 years old right now. They've got a long time to live, and I don't want them to live under this kind of rule. It's not right, and this needs to be struck down.
But if everyone knew that's how things were, the country would change very quickly, I think.
All of us, are wondering what kind of a world are we going to leave our kids? Are we going to leave them a brave new world? Or are we going to leave them, the world that our forefathers wanted for us, when they fought the revolution and they established the Constitution and the Bill of Rights?
We can use this case to effectively make sure that our constitutional rights are guaranteed, and we cannot let them go.
I don't want my kids to grow up in a world where they're afraid to say what's true because the government wants them to say something different. That isn't any way to live. We're supposed to be free.